People need to also trust the ability of women. My journey, I didn't start from payments. I got into payments by, I would say, sheer coincidence.
Wow.
At that point, I had never used a card myself. Because then there was no card, we had just the value card.
Yes.
In Nigeria. Yeah, I'm somebody that I like challenges, and when faced with one, I don't sleep until I get it resolved, and I don't rest. No matter what it is, I like to see it to the end.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whatever time you're watching us from. We're still on the International Women's Day edition of the Made in Payments podcast. And with me today is one of the exceptionally fine women in payments in Nigeria. I don't think there's anywhere you mention her name when it comes to payments, e-banking, that nobody will know. And we're just so privileged to have you with us, Celestina. Her name is Celestina Appeal, and it's a very amazing name. I've always been very intrigued by her name, by the way. And she's the head of card services at Zenith Bank. And prior to this year, right, she was the chairman of CeBIH, and CeBIH is the Committee of E-Banking Industry Heads for Nigeria. You can see that she's a powerful woman. So don't let her looks deceive you. She's a dawn in the war room. And so we're just going to be speaking to her today. Nice to have you here, Celestina. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Nkebet. Nice to be here.
Amazing. Thank you. So today, like we were speaking before, we're just sharing our stories. And, we were speaking the other day, and there were a few things you shared, and I was like, these stories need to be heard. As women leaders, we don't share our stories enough. And so you find out that people, some ladies think, I can only get to this certain extent, or I must be this certain way to be a woman in leadership, and even more so succeed in payments or the financial ecosystem. Can you share your story with us? How did you get to be chairman of CeBIH? How did you get to be head of card services in Nigeria's? Zenith is like the biggest bank, right? Or one of the top 3 banks. How did you?
Yes, actually.
It's the biggest, yes.
Yeah.
So how did you get to control? I know you don't only control Nigeria, you sort of oversee the other Zenith Bank markets. So how did you grow to be this exceptional woman and building a family at the same time? What was your journey? And maybe in talking about that, some challenges you faced.
Yeah, thank you very much. My story, when did I start? My journey, I didn't start from payments. I started with bank branch operations early in my career, maybe the first year of my career. Then I moved on to international banking, which is called FX today, from head office of a bank. And after that, I moved on to financial control and investment banking. But I got into payments by, I would say, sheer coincidence.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll always say this story. I was in EcoBank then.
Okay.
Just joined EcoBank at some point, and I was in the group reconciliation unit. I was barely 1 week, and they were just about to launch the first international payment card there. And they had a challenge. And at that point, I had never used a card myself. Because then there was no card, we had just the value card.
Yes.
In Nigeria. It was the first international card in Nigeria. So my boss, if I mention his name, you will know him, he's known in the industry. So he came to me and said, he went to my boss and said, can you resolve this for us? We have a target we need to launch urgently, and we need to resolve this settlement puzzle to enable us go live. And she said, no, she doesn't know. So it was about walking out of the window, of the door, and he saw me sitting by the window, minding my business. And he said, young lady, can you by chance resolve this? I said, let me see. And I looked at it. And I just used I said, okay, give me a minute.
Wow.
And I used all the logic, this thing they say about no learning is in isolation, you build. So all the past experiences in international banking, Pincon, everything, I put everything together. And it was just like within 5 minutes, I put it on Excel and I went to them. They were in the war room. Wow. I said, could this be this? I took a pen and put it on the board. And that's how, and they were all happy. That's how they were able to resolve and were able to finish the project with MasterCard and go live. Wow. So automatically, I was drafted into
e-banking.
So that's the journey till today.
And just because, so let me just stop there before you continue. And because you said some things that may be missed. So first of all, you didn't say, it's not my business. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You didn't say, I've never done this before.
No.
You said, you made a crucial statement. You said you brought in past learnings.
Yeah.
So it means that before that, you had been developing yourselves, being curious and all these things. So that's your one moment that shaped the start of an amazing career. And I think that should not be missed because there are moments and we need to take advantage of those moments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm somebody that I like challenges. And when faced with one, I don't sleep until I get it resolved. And I don't rest. No matter what it is, I like to see it to the end. So that's why. So of course, it was really, really challenging then because, having to do something that nobody else has done in the whole of Nigeria. And the team then, we were all drafted from different places to do that and nobody to ask. And you know how you can't go to bank A or bank B, can you help me? So we had to do a lot of reading of those tiny, those
fine prints,
the IPM formats in payment.
Yes.
We had to read that with my clear eyes to decode them and all that, draw up all the first frameworks, so it was really challenging. But that's why that team today, they are still bonded. We are still in touch. We have a WhatsApp group that we all connect because it was real bonding at that time. But payments it's not been easy. It's been challenging, but I've been focused by the fact that I want to know more and I want to see, it's like a baby you want to nurture and see grow from stage to stage. But then I've been surrounded by wonderful people, wonderful team, both senior colleagues and junior that are also willing to work with you. I remember those days coming to Zenith and we built a team. It's the card business department was like the envy of all because of the kind of boss we had, the kind of relationship we all had. It was really amazing. So I was able to surmount those challenges because of the people around you, people that you can call on a Sunday. We have to do this, and they all take their laptops and they are ready to work. So that made it easier. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Fantastic. And so, what's interesting about your journey is you didn't just wake up and get into leadership. You grew into it.
Yeah.
A lot of females, let me say females, well, generally, but most of the time we see it in women where they say, oh, they didn't promote me because I was a woman. Or I'm the one that did the work, but they didn't recognize my efforts. What's your take on that?
I don't think it has to do with being a woman or not. Although those things exist, but in the environments I've worked, I didn't see that play out. Women were given the opportunity. But that is not to say it doesn't exist. So it exists out there, but promotion did not come as it should. But that did not stop me from doing my best, putting my best always, because I believe with time you will get there. Okay, and promotion is not everything that gives you the joy of seeing what you do grow, and the joy that you are creating. So just like a farmer,
Yes.
you are nurturing
Yes.
seeds, and you are happy seeing them grow. You are happy to water them until harvest time. Okay, so that's it for me. It's not as if I'll not be happier if I see myself bigger than what I am today, but I am patient, and I want to grow into it. I want to grow to every step. That's something that is missing in our younger ones today.
Yes.
Because they are very eager to move. And if they don't get it now, they move to the next, even if it may backfire at times, but they don't mind. No. I think patience is the key.
You said something crucial, which is that patience, and which we don't see a lot of these days. And in speaking, you also mentioned the power of focus and the fact that sometimes your growth is not only limited by I was on the promotion list.
Yeah.
Because now we're speaking to women in corporates. We're speaking now to corporates because you're in corporates.
Yeah.
So what are the things that you did? And you mentioned something, which was you were at your sink or swim moment, because that was a sink or swim moment. You were at your sink or swim moment. You could have said, I can't do this. Nobody will kill you. It's not your job now. Your boss said it couldn't be done. So you saying it can't be done wasn't. So you were at your sink or swim moment. And I like to call it your 8 seconds Olympics moment.
Yeah.
You were at that moment and you did. So you've mentioned that time and chance, as the Bible says, right?
Yeah.
Now, what were the other things? What are the other things you can? Because we have ladies watching, and it's sort of like, so we need to tell our stories and we need to mentor through these things. So, what are the other strategies or things that women and ladies can do, especially in payments, in the fintech space, in corporates?
Yeah, women need to be focused. They need to think bigger of themselves. Because we tend to think, oh, I'm just a woman, I have family, I have children to take care of. I can't do, let me just do my little bit and go home. And if you don't take a chance on yourself to try and go the extra mile, you will just be where you are, not moving. Personally, I in this process, I happen to have a back-to-back twins, two sets of
Two
twins.
sets of twins, by the way.
Two sets of twins back-to-back, 1 year difference in the meetup, and no extra time. For each set, no extra annual leave. Came back to work, and and I tell myself, at times I look back, I say, how did this happen? But it happened, and if it happened this way, it can happen. Anyone can do it. Anyone else can actually do it. So we need to go. We need to push ourselves. Not let's not get discouraged by men around, thinking that, oh, the men don't get suppressed. Not that we're going to be aggressive or antagonistic, but with your job, take it serious and own it. You'll be visible. And by that, nobody can really reduce you from what you are.
Yes. I'm going to go back on this thing you mentioned just casually, which I don't know why you mentioned it casually, because I think we need to take it a step down on how that journey was for you. The reason is so I was mentoring a young lady, and I was like, you seem to have a lot of suitors. Why are you not married? She said, I'm chasing my career. Let me say, I cannot do both. Because by the time I now start growing, baby will now come. Then they will now sideline me in the workplace. Because no. Let me get to a certain stage before I start to have children. You had twins back to back in the space of 3 years. You still excelled at work. You still grew in your work and you are where you are today. It shows that life is in phases. How did you navigate it? Because, sometimes we sit down and people like, yes, that's Celestina, she did guru, she did it. It's not for me. How, let's see that human side. How were you able to do it?
Well, first, I give kudos to the understanding husband. And of course, to get the man to understand, you also need to have that humility.
Yes.
Show him that he also matters. He matters more than anything else. But so I say, I know men, they like to be put up there.
Yes.
And when you put them up there, they go all the way for you. So just communication and letting know this is it. And he will be there. He will be the one that will be waking you up in the morning. Are you not going to work? It's late. So that's it. And again, determination. Organization. You understand? Try and give everybody everything their own place. The children, your husband, your home, and the job. Try and balance it. Otherwise, if the home front is not okay, your job too, you can't concentrate on the job. So it's important to get that. But for ladies that say, they can't get husband because I hear some ladies saying that they can't get husband because of the job, pressure of the job.
Exactly.
Yeah, husbands, you don't get husbands when you go to the party. Is it at the party? Yeah, you will still get them when you're in the course of your job. When you're doing your job and you network, within the job, you can still get wherever you are. Okay? So, no, nothing can take
that. So it shouldn't be one or the other.
Not one or the other. You need to carry everything along. Yeah.
So that's, I think that on its own is a masterclass in terms of how navigating motherhood, workplace, and relationships. And you've been able to do it. Now let's take a different look at women in corporates, leading corporates. There have been many cases of #horrible bosses.
Yeah.
#horrible bosses. And when you hear horrible bosses, most of the time is women.
Really?
Is women. What is leadership to you? Because when we look at the industry and we see people like you, we know that there's a way not to be a leader.
Yeah.
What are the things? What has been your, and not your experience, but how have you seen women leading corporate not right? What are things they've done, and how is leadership meant to be done right?
Interesting, because I see a lot of interesting things happening in the corporate world, especially when, for some bosses that think, they see maybe a younger colleague under reports. They feel that person knows something they don't know. And rather than rather than utilize the knowledge of that person, they try to suppress the person. And I don't think that is leadership, because a leader should be able to harness the skills of his or her down reports to the common benefits of the group itself. Because one thing they fail to understand, if that person succeeds, that success is yours.
Yes.
The success is for the department, it's for the group, and for the bank in extension. So if somebody succeeds, if you have highly intelligent people in your team, rather than try to suppress them or talk down at them and make them feel less, bring them up, let them feel wanted. And by so doing, they will bring out their best to work for you.
Yes.
Like in the course of my work, I have very intelligent people. And as a leader, you should be ready to learn even from the youngest person in your...
Absolutely.
So because nobody is an island of knowledge. So you should be ready to learn and also bring up the skills of your people, help them to develop themselves, give them a voice.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and let them trust you.
Let them trust you.
Let them trust you, because I've had people that in my team, usually people hide from their bosses when they want to go for interview, when they want to work, look for another job. But I find that people come and say, I'm having this offer. I'll need to go for this interview.
They tell you?
Yes.
Wow.
And I say, okay, go. Let's see what comes out. And they come back and I say, this is what they offered me. And I'll say, okay, compare it to what you have. And compare, don't only look at the salary, look at other things. And they go back, they come back and say, it's true. I've seen some hidden things in this. But there are times, that's not all the time. At times, the offer will be so juicy, I'll advise, I'll try, I'll say, well, it's very juicy. I can't hold you back because it's your career, you know. But to that openness, you know, and that will make them to come to you and tell you. And if you tell them to even wait for 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, just to get a backup, they'll be willing to do.
Yes.
Okay, but if you have a boss that's antagonistic and does not want to relate with you, does not even want you to talk, you will not bring out your best. You will not bring out your best because you feel you do not want to be heard, or somebody will not be happy to see you shining. Okay, and so that's not the way, because especially in payments, we need a lot of ideas, especially from the young ones.
Absolutely, yes.
They are the ones that go to the trenches. They are the ones that go into social media and everywhere.
See what's happening.
So they are the ones that will bring out the ideas. But so if you stop them, if you don't hear from them, you can't grow yourself
as a leader.
Yeah, as a leader.
So we've heard trust, and that aspect of trust is so important. I know you had a team member who left and came back. So she went for another job and still came back. Then I was like, what are you doing back here? But that's just the trust and the leadership. I don't think I ever told my boss when I had an interview. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so another key thing she mentioned was, we find leaders today who are not vulnerable.
Yeah.
They don't feel they can learn.
Yeah.
Right? They feel if I say I don't know, it's a sign of weakness. That's what I hear, right? Which shouldn't be. That's key. That's key. That's very key. In terms of, and I know you work with a lot of fintechs.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of fintech, we've seen data that said fintech female-led fintechs really don't get funding. Now, that's what data shows. Why do you think so?
Well, I think, of course, the general view is that women don't get to go to where men get to. Okay, a lot of these discussions happen over a drink.
You are shaking tables here.
A lot of these discussions happen over the drink. And so while women are rushing home to go and go to their family, things are happening. But then a lot of lack of information has to play here. And trust. People need to also trust the ability of women. Because some people believe women are limited in their performance, which is not. But you can see, if you can see somebody like Iweala going to that height, she has a family and she's able to do it. Yes. So why can't any other one do it? Okay, so recent situations have shown that women can also get to those heights. Women are also very serious with what they do. And when you talk about keeping money, women can also, because women are a bit more risk adverse. When it comes to that, they would give a thing, but men they can think on the spot and move with this. But with more communication, more networking amongst women, and more openings to women, especially from governments, we can have more women coming up in that space.
No, we spoke to Titi earlier in the other episode, and one of the things she mentioned was women need to learn to tell their stories well and articulate themselves better. Yeah. Because women, and I think sometimes because we're used to just rambling, we'll just we bring that character into the workplace. Yeah. So what you're saying is apt as well. So women need to be able to articulate their thoughts and tell their stories better. Fantastic. So you were chairman of CeBIH. How did you get into being chairman of CeBIH? How was that journey? What happened? Because you're naturally reserved. So
okay. So CeBIH, I went into CeBIH. Coincidentally, the first day I showed up in a CeBIH meeting. Coincidentally, an election was going on. Okay. And I was nominated to be a member of the INEC for the election. While doing that, somebody said no. I think I nominated her to take a post in ESCO.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't prepare for this. I just came here to observe today.
This is my first meeting.
Yeah. So that's how I dropped from INEC and was nominated and elected into ESCO. So that was where the journey with CeBIH started. I started as Assistant General Secretary, then to Secretary, then Secretary of Shared Services, Secretary of Revenue Assurance. Then I was just doing my own business, not looking out to be chairman or anything, but just working. Because I just had the passion to work and to serve. And just from nowhere, I was nominated to be chairman, and that's how I found myself there.
Wow.
But having served in CeBIH for like 8 years.
Okay. So you were in the committee, or you were the EXCO for 8 years before you became chairman. Yes. And there were lots of strides in your leadership as chairman. Well done, including a lot of regulatory challenges.
Can say that again.
And I think one thing I admire about you is how you're able to keep your cool in the face of the central bank.
Yeah.
And for women, I think those are some of the superpowers that we have that we don't take advantage of. So thank you. That's really inspiring. That's really inspiring. And so she said, show up. Show up. You never can tell when will be your day.
Yeah.
That you need to be called upon. Be ready at every point in time. And you talk about the power of focus.
Yeah.
Be focused. Just do your job. Show up and show that you are doing your job. Because some people say, no, let my work speak for me. Your work will not speak for you. People have to see that it's you behind the work.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Now back to Celestina, the person. What's a day in your life like?
A day. My work
People,
life.
you say, hey, a day.
A day in my work life is really, really busy. Not in and out of the office. It's really, really busy, really, really challenging. But we're used to it. We're used to it.
What takes the bulk of your day?
Meetings, because the business we do is a dynamic one that is ever evolving. So we need to do products every day. So we're constantly meeting with IT, constantly engaging with PMO, constantly meeting with clients, vendors, and everyone. So, and it's a service. So we get to talk with a lot of customers, hear their complaints, see how to resolve them, even up to 1 a.m., 2 a.m., because we're running a service that people use in different time zones. So somebody's in America, the person is calling you, the person doesn't know.
At 1 a.m.
Want to remember that it's midnight in Nigeria, you should be sleeping. So, and you have to pick up because the person could be stranded. So we are always alert to be at people's service.
Fantastic.
And it's really, really interesting. It's really, really rewarding to know that those issues are resolved and you have a happy customer.
And a returning customer.
Yes, a returning customer.
Because the most loyal people that I know are two people, Man U fans and Zenith Bank customers. because no matter what, they will keep coming back to use your service. And I think that's part of testament of the great work that you're doing with your team. So when you are not working, when you are not dealing with central bank, when you are not fighting fires, what are you doing? Who is Celestina outside?
Outside the job, although we carry the job everywhere, but outside the job, I like time with my family. I like to relax. I like to be by the poolside, just relaxing and thinking. I like to be by the beach, listening to music and relaxing. And
to calm your brain down. Fantastic. It was really lovely chatting with you. It was lovely hearing your story. And I think one of the key things that we've picked from your story is you can do it. You can raise a family and still have a thriving career. You don't have to choose one over the other.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most important things as well we've learned is how to be a leader. What are the things you need to build trust? Your team needs to trust you. You need to be willing to learn. Thank you so much. It has really, really been lovely chatting with you. Any last words from your side?
Yeah, my last words would be to women out there. Let's just stay focused. Let's believe in ourselves. Let's try to develop ourselves.
Yes.
Develop your skill every day. Be constantly eager to learn more.
Yes.
And the sky is the beginning for you.
It's the beginning. I love it. Not the limit.
No.
It's the beginning. Amazing. It was lovely speaking with you today, and it was lovely coming to your screens today. This is, like we said earlier, the Women in Payments edition for Made in Payments. We've been speaking to Celestina Appeal, the head of card services at Zenith Bank and the former chairman of CB, Community of E-Banking Industry Head. Thank you, Celestina, for spending your afternoon with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Kebet.
Thank you so much.